We have healthy foods and we also have unhealthy foods. All the healthy foods are given to us by God. I call this God's original diet. These are the foods that God intended for His children to eat. The Bible says this woman who had the issue of blood said within herself, if I can just touch the hem of His garment, then I know I will be made whole. This woman had been to doctor after doctor, and she had given them all her money. And instead of the doctors making her better, the Bible clearly states in Mark chapter 5, verse 26, that the doctors made her worse. After suffering with her blood disease for 12 years and seeking doctors for healing, she decided to change her situation by pressing towards Jesus. Isn't it amazing that she did not even have to touch Jesus in order to get healed, but she had to touch what was connected to Him. Now that takes faith. And notice that Jesus told her, your faith has made thee whole. It was not her actually touching the hem of Jesus' garment that healed her, but it was the faith behind the act of touching Jesus' clothes. This woman stayed in the same situation for 12 years, but when she touched Jesus' garment, her situation changed. Notice the faith this woman had. First of all, a lot of people were trying to get to Jesus. And I'm sure in her mind, she thought, how will I even get to Him? Second of all, she was a woman. And it was mostly men at this time trying to get to Jesus. And third, again, she was a woman. And it was not wise for a woman to be pushing her way through a crowd of men. It is possible that this woman could have lost her life doing such a thing. This is why the Bible states in Luke chapter 8, verse 47, she was trembling, fearful, and fell down before Jesus. It took faith for this woman to do something that could possibly have killed her. But I can hear this woman saying within herself, I got to change my situation. I have been sick for 12 years and I am tired of being sick. I hear there is a man named Jesus passing by. And if I can just touch the hem of His garment, I believe I will be made whole. Notice this woman's situation did not change until she changed her situation. Some of you under the sound of my voice today have issues of blood diseases. Some of you have high blood pressure. Some of you have high blood cholesterol. Some of you have high blood sugar called type 2 diabetes. And some may even have cancer. Some of you have tried doctors after doctors, and you know their medicines have not done you any good and left you no money to spare at the end of the month. But this woman with the issue of blood left us a great example to follow in order to be healed. And that is to trust in Jesus. And just like she had to change her situation in order to get healed, you're going to have to change your situation in order to get healed. So the title of my message today is Your Situation Will Not Change Until You Change Your Situation. Turn to your neighbor and tell them, neighbor, your situation will not change until you change your situation. The two most important words in this title is you change. You notice I did not say your situation will change when God changes your situation. See, many times we as Christians always want God to do something for us. We have become lazy and we do not like to work for blessings. and healings. And many times we become too spiritual. We love to wait on the Lord to move on our behalf. And many times while you're waiting on the Lord to do something for you, God is waiting on us. For example, I'm a doctor. I see patients. I once had a female patient. We'll call her name Shaquita. Everybody knows Shaquita. She told me, "Dr. Hill, pray for me. I have a boyfriend." And since I can't use patient's real name, we'll call her boyfriend Ray Ray. Everybody knows Ray Ray. She said, "Dr. Hill, pray for me. Ray Ray do not work, is physically and verbally abusive. He spends all my money, and he is living in my house, and they were not even married." So me being the man that I am, told her to put Ray Ray at your house. Why do you want to live with a man who, first of all, you're not married to, is abusive to you, do not work, and is not trying to do anything in life? Put him out your house, I said. She said, "Yeah, Dr. Hill, I know you're right, but I have to pray about it." Now, I'm not Dr. Phil, I'm Dr. Hill. But I'm sure even Dr. Phil would be proud of the advice that I gave her. This is an example of getting too spiritual. What is there to pray about? This is something you do not need to ask God about. It's just plain common sense. And now that Shaquita's in the situation she's in now, she wants to pray. If she had prayed in the first place, she would have never gotten in this situation. And while Shaquita's waiting on God to move on her behalf, God is waiting on her to change her own situation. So if you're in a situation like Shaquita, and you're waiting on God to come down from heaven and kick Ray Ray out your house, I came to let you know that God is waiting on you to do that. And your situation won't change until you change it yourself. If I can give one more example. I had a patient who is a deacon in his church. I would call him Deacon Know-It-All Jones. Deacon Jones weighed 450 pounds. He was 5'9". Deacon Jones had sleep apnea, high blood pressure, high blood cholesterol, type 2 diabetes, obesity, arthritis in both knees, and he even mentioned to me that he was depressed. He asked me what would I recommend to help with his illness, and I began to educate him on healthy eating and exercise. He then asked me, is there anything else he can do? And I told him about the health benefits of fasting. And Deacon Know-It-All Jones told me in order for him to fast, he has to hear from the Lord. I only fast for spiritual reasons, he told me. And just by looking at him, I thought within myself, looked like the Lord never told me. I told him while you're waiting on the Lord to tell you to fast, he just told you to fast through me. You are being too spiritual, I told him. If you read Isaiah chapter 58, verse 8, it clearly reads, after fasting thine health shall spring forth speedily. When the Bible says health, it is talking about the health of your physical body, and yet many Christians walk around talking about they only fast for spiritual reasons, which means they never fast. And while Deacon Know-It-All Jones is waiting on God to heal him,